We are trying to determine if negative 3 over 2 is a 0 of the polynomial x cubed plus 1/2 x squared plus 13x minus 7/2 through the use of synthetic division. If we do synthetic division with negative 3/2 on this polynomial and we end up with a remainder of 0, then it would in fact be a 0 of the polynomial. So to start synthetic division, we first write down the coefficients from each one of the terms, making sure all of the terms are present. So we have x cubed, x squared, x, and constant. So all of our terms are here for a third degree polynomial. So start by writing down the coefficients: 1, 1/2, 13/2, and negative 7/2. And then next, the divisor. And since we're given only a number, our divisor is negative 3/2. So the first step for synthetic division, this first coefficient will drop below this line, and then whatever drop below the line gets multiplied with our divisor, and then added to the next coefficient. So I'm just going to use my graphing calculator, and anytime I put fractions in my calculator, I like to put parentheses around them. So I'm going to do 1/2, so 1 divided by 2, plus negative 3/2. And hit enter. And I get a result of negative 1. So 1/2 plus negative 3/2 is equal to negative 1. Now negative 1 is below the line, so I multiply it. Since it's a negative 1, I really wouldn't have to multiply it, but I could, in my calculator, I'll just do negative 1 times, and then that fraction, so negative 3/2, and I end up with 1.5, and if I'll do math, enter, it'll turn that decimal back into a fraction. So 3/2, and then I add these two numbers together. So in my calculator, 13 divided by 2 plus 3 divided by 2. Hit enter, that gives me an 8. Now 8 is going to get multiplied with negative 3/2, so 8 times negative 3/2. Enter, I get a negative 12. And then finally, I have that fraction, negative 7 over 12, so just type it in inside that set of parentheses, plus a negative 12. And I get another decimal. So if you want to turn that decimal back into a fraction, do math, enter, and the result is negative 31 over 2. So since this number is not equal to 0, negative 3 over 2 is not a 0 of this polynomial.